And we've started this podcast already, Craig. I mean, something that we've been looking to do for a long time. But what's up, Craigie? How are you doing? A long time no see. I mean, I've been waiting to chat to you for so long. It's like I would say that our meetings are cursed at the moment because every single time I see you, I try to see you, something happens, something gets in the way, work gets in the way, something gets in the way. But it's so great that we can still meet across these lines, man. But how are you doing? How was your weekend and stuff?
Yeah, all right, to me, man. I'm super stoked that you asked me to be on the show. Obviously, your first five choices obviously weren't available, hence you asking me. But super flattered that you hit me up earlier today and asked if I wanted to be on. And yeah, super excited for the topic. I think it's a really interesting one, and excited for yeah just the angle that we're going to take.
You say the first five didn't work out. He's lying, by the way, just to tell you that. I was trying to think of, because I told you guys that podcast is going to be a whole new, different type of interview. It's going to be a whole different type of podcast. If you guys want to know a little bit more about it, you need to listen to me very, very closely. I've said that the direction of my podcast is going to go very different to my weekly show. You guys are used to the weekly show from a Monday to Thursday, and that is where we give you updates on cricket and updates on everything that happens in the day in life of cricket, basically. And on a Sunday, I've tried to make my podcast a little bit more interesting for guys that are not necessarily major cricket fanatics. We are here to actually help fans or people that are interested in cricket to become fanatics, to go on a journey. So we want to create a show where people can relate to the people on camera, can relate to my friends on the other end. And it's an opportunity for me and my friends to obviously catch up and have a conversation about various things. It doesn't necessarily have to be about cricket, and it's not necessarily only going to be about cricket. So if you guys are not into that, then you can always just zoom out. We will be happy with you guys just signing off and not watching the show if it's not for your up to your standard. But this is about me and my friends and me catching up with my friends. Now, Craig and I go quite a while back now. We started working together and for a little while, for a couple of months, and we were friends ever since. And we have lots of things actually in common if you come to think of it. But there's also some things that a lot of things that he teaches me as well. Craig, what's new in your life so far? So when was the last time we saw each other? That's the thing. When was the last time we saw each other? I think it was.
Crisis. I
I
don't know.
think it was.
Have we have seen each other this year, huh?
Yeah. I think the last time was when we went to a food in. I think it was the last time that we actually.
Yes, that's it. That was like within 2 months ago, and obviously, yeah, as you mentioned, work has sort of taken center stage, and we haven't really been able to catch up. But yeah, I mean, it's been super cool to see how, I mean, your podcasting has come on leaps and bounds. Sort of when you gave that intro earlier, I thought, I mean, the flow is wild now. It's seamless. But it's crazy impressive to see the progress.
No, it's crazy. I mean, I'm talking about fooding. If you guys don't know what fooding is we have this little place in well, a couple of them in Cape Town. Eh? I think there's one in town, and there's one obviously in close to Cavendish, which is a mall, quite a popular mall in Cape Town. They basically serve like everything. It's the first time you were there as well, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
yeah, they serve everything from. Yeah, they have like from Indian food to Turkish type of foods, to some Cape Malay type of foods as well. So like everything on the menu. I think we went for just a general. You went for a shawarma actually.
Yeah. I was super conservative, but loved it. It was lekker. It was crazy.
Yeah, but it's good to be conservative, man. It's some conservative. Sometimes it's good to take the simple option. Simplicity is also very, very important. Yeah, I mean, I know that the title's talking about curses and lifting curses. But before we get into the main crux of the conversation, I want to talk to you about. Let's just talk about curses in general. Because curses, to me, is it something that you believe in? Do you think that some people are cursed, or that some people maybe have their lives cursed or something? Or do you believe in those type of things, ghost stories, etc.?
I mean, I wouldn't say I believe in ghost stories necessarily, but I mean, the way the Proteas sort of World Cup campaigns have panned out since readmission would certainly suggest that potentially curses in sport are a thing, but at the same time, like, is it a curse? Is it just the rub of the green, just bad luck? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the age old question. But no, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I think if things don't go your way for you, or like a team's way or an individual's way over an extended period of time, I don't know if it's necessarily a curse or if it's maybe, as I say, bad luck, but yeah, it's just incentive to just keep working harder. I don't know. I mean, are you actually, you do strike me as the type of guy that probably is like big into that sort of belief vibe, and I wouldn't put it past you to think that curses are a thing. What's your take?
When I think about curses, immediately I go to the movies and stuff like that, and thinking
No, of
about
course.
like all of those paranormal activities and all that stuff. I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning, when the first paranormal activity came out, uh, I think a bunch of us actually went to go watch it at Canal Walk at about like midnight screening, like a very late screening,
Mm,
and all of us were, especially in our religion as well. There's a lot of talk about like. Or you could say jinn, it's called. And a lot of people talk about that and how they can affect you and how things like
mm,
that, how there are spirits, etc., and paranormal activity and stuff like that. So when that movie came out and
mm,
the niche, it somehow spread through our friends group that the movie was real, like it was based on real events and real things that actually happened, and it was
yeah.
footage of the actual. It was the footage of the actual events that was sent into the studio, and they just made it better. And so we believed it at first, and we were like, "Oh my lord, I can't believe that really happened." And so, and we all were a bit scared because it was quite late in Kennewick at the time, and we were like walking outside, and we were like, "Yo, imagine this happens to us tonight. What you gonna do then?" Because I mean, one of our friends in our group actually he experienced paralysis in his sleep paralysis, basically in his sleep, where he
Mm,
felt we couldn't move, and so. I mean, he automatically thought he was cursed after watching that movie. And I was like, then I started, me, obviously, after I watch it, I rate it. And then I go to like different sites that rate movies, like Rotten Tomatoes, etc., and IMDb, and some other film critic sites. And I go
yeah.
compare my rating to that particular movie, man. And I check and I look at it and I'll be like, okay, cool. If I rated 7 out of 10 and Rotten Tomatoes says it's 80%, and then IMDb maybe says uh, 75%, then I'll take like, okay, maybe it's about a 75
Mm.
between. So I'll take the middle ground and say maybe that's what I'll rate it overall.
What do you
So
think? Without trying to sort of cut you off there, Brew, what are your thoughts on Rotten Tomatoes though? Because I mean, some of the best movies I've ever watched have been movies that I've subsequently checked up on Rotten Tomatoes, and they've received pretty poor ratings. I mean, what do
I
you
don't know.
think
If,
of?
I don't
Go
know if
go.
you know. Do you know how Rotten Tomatoes' scoring system works?
Not 100%, but obviously you do, being a movie fanatic in your spare time as well.
Okay, so this might be interesting to everybody. Rotten Tomatoes' scoring rate does not work on a percentage manner in the way that you think. So people are not rating it 80%. That's not how they're rating it. They're not rating it, for example, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 7 out of 10. The way Rotten Tomatoes works is on a rotten or fresh meter. So if so critics will go and either rate the movie fresh or rotten. Rotten being that it's completely crap, and fresh is obviously being that it's great. Okay.
Okay.
If the so out of, say there's 1,000 votes, or I say, okay, let's make it easier. Let's say it's 100 votes, and 60 people think it's fresh, and obviously 40 people think it's rotten. Then the movies get rated 60%. And if it's 70 people out of 100 think that's how they rate it. So it's the percentage of people that actually thought the movie was good. It's not rated according, like on IMDb, it's rated according to how many people gave it a 5-star, 7-star rating. How many people said it was 8 out of 10. You see what I mean? That's the difference between, and that's why people get confused about Rotten Tomatoes, is because they think that people are actually rating it 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, and they say it's not accurate. But ultimately, it's just how many people enjoyed it and how many people did not enjoy it. If they thought it was a fresh movie or a rotten movie. And they weigh up the ratio according to if you enjoyed the movie or not, if the critics enjoyed the movie or not. And that's why you will get that. So some movies are really, really great. Like, I mean, I've watched some great movies and they maybe only get a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm probably like, maybe it didn't disappeal to them or something. Maybe it didn't appeal to the critics themselves that were watching the movie. They were expecting something, because critics are very difficult to deal with, because it depends what mood you get them in when they watch the movie. I mean, I've been to a couple of press screenings already, and it just depends on the mood that the person's in. Like, literally, I met this one critic. I sat next to him in the movie watching what movie was it again? It was one of the Marvel movies. I think it was Captain Marvel either Captain Marvel or Doctor Strange. I can't remember which one it was. But I sat next to him watching the movie. He didn't like the movie at all. And the next time I saw him again, he was recommending it to a bunch of his friends. So I was like, but I thought you didn't like the movie. And he was like, no, but I watched it again. And so on that time, when he rated the movie on wherever he was writing for, he obviously wrote a bad review about it. But then afterwards, he watched it again and he actually liked it. So Rotten Tomatoes works like that. You need to look at. That's why I say you don't just look at Rotten Tomatoes. Look at a couple of sites and then take the overall rating of what you think it is. But obviously, if a rating's 12%, I mean, come on, critics don't like it. Yeah. So, but I mean.
No, go. Sorry, sort of cut you off there.
No, continue. You continue.
No, I was going to say, talking about like random movies and stuff that I've watched recently. So one of our good mutual mates and an occasional writer for Cricket Fanatics, Alistair Fraser, remarked that I reminded him of the character Owen Wilson played in Wedding Crashers. So
wow, what a movie!
Probably your cracker cheap visits. I mean, they must have had such a jewel filming that. But I watched it a couple of weeks ago, and I can say without any shadow of a doubt that we don't share any of the same mannerisms. So, El, if you are on the off chance you're watching this, please do better next time. Try and find a better comp, but I'm definitely not. There's zero similarity. But as you were, Khalid, sorry I just wanted to get that in there.
No, it's awesome. I mean, Wedding Crashers is one of those cult favorites of a lot of us, because I think I was in high school when it came out, actually, to be honest. So it's one of those movies that you maybe not supposed to watch it when you were in high school at that age, but you watched it anyway, and it was amazing. And then all your friends watch it, and all the people that you know in your circle watch it, and it just becomes a massive cult movie. There's a lot of those type of movies that fly around. But there's a lot of
when I was growing up as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of curses though. I don't know if you heard about the Superman curse and the Batman curse. I don't know if you heard about that. There's so a lot of people said that the Superman Reeves, the Christopher Reeves movies were cursed, because obviously quite a few people. I think there was someone that obviously he fell off a horse afterwards and he got paralyzed, and a couple of people in the movie, something bad happened to them. The same with the Batman movies initially, the original
Yes,
Batman movies. Either someone passed away on the set, or someone that was involved with the movie in creation, or like someone got really badly injured in every occasion that a Batman movie was made. You heard about Heath Ledger taking the Joker role, something bad happened to him. There was a lot of there's been a lot of talk about those type of things that were happening in the Batman arena as well, about people cursed. So these cursed things are something that maybe they're just coincidences, but maybe they are actually something that are actually true. I mean, from a sporting sense.
Yeah, at what point does a coincidence become a curse?
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, a lot of people believe that that the Proteas are cursed because of the World Cups, and the way they've gone out in the World Cups has never been like, okay, they're just knocked out. It's always something. There's either a rain or Duck with Lewis when they miscalculated, got run out weirdly in the final, 99. I don't want to bring it up again, guys, but sorry, I did. Miscalculated the runs and then didn't chase it down. I mean, many dropped catches.
Well, the thing with Gibbs and Steve Waugh, I mean, that was so, like, anyone that's watched that footage can see that he had control over the ball, and I mean, to the like, if you look at it like quickly, you may think, oh, it's slipped out, but if you watch it again, I'm sure they refer. I don't even know if they referred it to the third umpire at the time, but yeah, I don't know. Like things like that, obviously not great. 2007 was the '07 World Cup was a pity because it just wasn't our day, and Australia were in fine. I remember what did we get bowled out for? 149. But then obviously 2015 as well. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting, but I mean, I don't think we as fans should, as easy as it is to lose heart, I really don't think we should. I think there's been this. I've noticed enough evidence in other sporting codes over the last, literally probably the last month, to know that if you keep chipping away and keep working at it, your time will come sooner or later. Obviously, a bit later for the protests, but it will come.
I mean, guys, let us know in the comment section of any curses that you heard of, or things that you heard of, maybe scary stories, or maybe sports curses that you heard of. I see Damon actually let us know about one. He says, I heard some NFL guys were cursed. All the guys that were on the cover of a game ended up out for a season. Very interesting, actually. Eh? I mean, we heard a curse when we were working at our previous employment, and SA Rugby magazine. They told us that the guys, every time they put the guy on the cover of the magazine, they'd get injured, which was a weird curse that they said would happen. It's one of those things where I don't know if you want to believe it or you don't want to believe it, but guys, let us know some of the stuff that you want to let us know in the comment section. I would like to know what you guys think. Afzal saying CSI are not cursed at the moment. You leave generation talent like Calvarena out the squad. You're already preparing to fail. Yeah, it's very easy for people to make statements and just say this person must be in, that person must be in, that person must be in, that. You can name millions and millions of people that must be in teams, and there's no way of you proving that they're actually going to do well. Yes, I believe that Calvarena should be in the squad, in the team, and he should start based on his amazing track record for the Cobras the last couple of seasons. And I know him on a personal basis, so I speak to him and I know that what type of personality he is and what type of mentality he has when it comes to playing the game. So when you talk to them and you see that in them, you will know from a young age already the boy's mind was on a different planet, so mature for his age. Maybe he's going to be the player that will lift the curse for South Africa in the future. I mean, especially World Cup, because I mean the boy, he becomes a real threat under pressure. He thrives majority under pressure. That's where he becomes a real player. I mean, and I mean, I think I've told you this before, but the one time I asked him, Like, how do you perform under pressure so consistently? And he said that no, when the chips are down, when there's wickets down, and I come out to the middle, I don't feel the pressure because people expect me to fail. And because I know people expect me to fail in this awkward situation, there's no pressure on me. I can just go out and play my
That's
game.
actually quite a cool way of looking at it.
Yeah, crazy,
Obviously,
crazy
quite deep, but
mature.
yeah. I think the more players that we can have become comfortable in those pressure situations and who will ultimately thrive in those pressure situations, the better. Because I mean, it's one thing performing in a deciding match in a bilateral series, but it's a completely different kettle of fish in the semi-final of a World Cup, especially given South Africa's track record. So yeah, I think if more of our guys can take a leaf out of Carl's book, I think South African cricket will be better for it.
Yeah, guys, smash that like button. We are basically streaming on Facebook and on YouTube at the moment. So smash that like button and get comment and share it to all your friends on Facebook and on social medias, so that more people can obviously watch this particular video and this particular episode. We reaching closer and getting closer and closer to that 50 episode mark on the podcast show. So thanks a lot for the support out there. And we're also getting closer to 2,000 subscribers. So you guys obviously know what you need to do. You need to hit that subscribe button, please. Hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell for future videos as well. So yeah, Craig, there's a couple of comments over here. I think there was one about. I'm trying to see it now because sometimes these comments come in quite quickly. We have a bio over here saying, Craig, nice to see you back here. How have you been, man?
Well, thanks for that. I really appreciate it, bro. No, I'm well, thanks, man, and hope it's all good with you stateside. Yeah, actually, I've spent the last few days playing a bit of golf, which has been quite a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm doing well, thanks, man.
And the Americans, you Americans like to feed us down here with these curse stories. So don't you know of any curses out there that you can throw us in the comment section? We will persevere. The curse will be lifted, says Ravi. You must go like his channel as well, Mzansi Comic Club. He gives some excellent insight into comics and things that he listens to and watches and whatever the case may be, and some excellent reviews that he does, short clips, so you don't kind of sit there for hours and hours on end. He keeps it nice, short and sweet. Ravi has some excellent knowledge on this matter. I'm just looking at my phone now because I'm seeing. What I've done now, because it's the transfer season and the transfer market is open now, Craig. So for Bertie Romano is one of the guys that breaks a lot of news on football transfers. So I've kind of have a notification on for him so I can be up to date with all the transfers. And I see that Alvaro Morata at Juventus has extended his loan until 2022. So maybe they're looking at Ronaldo leaving and coming back to United. I don't know. Maybe something like that's going to happen.
That's a bit of a stretch, I think. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with. I've seen now Tottenham have entered into talks with Pochettino to potentially come back from PSG, and I wonder if they manage to pull that off. I wonder if they may hang on to Kane for a little bit longer.
I see here Joel Addison saying that Oleg is cursed by semifinals and finals. That wasn't the one that I wanted to read of you, and yet I pressed on it. Damn it. Okay, I'll talk about that now. I reckon those Aussie fast bowlers are cursing Bancroft. Now, I don't know if you believe. I don't know if you believe in mother cricket, but it's something that I was very much educated about when I walked into the press box at Newlands. It's about like whenever I speak, it's like jinxing someone. Like I used to be like, he's gonna get his 100 and then he goes out, and the press box hates that. Like
So you
the
can't
press
preempt
believe
anything,
in.
bro.
Yeah, but the press don't like it. Eh? You can't be talking about jinxes and things like that. Like, don't be jinxing
Mm,
players over there. Like, they let me
mm.
know very soon that mother cricket exists. So when I'm in the press box at home, I still do it. But when I'm in the press box, oops, I shouldn't be saying that. But when I'm in the press box and stuff, they mother cricket. Do you think it exists? Because I mean, like the Aussies cheating the way they did. Um, that's quite a. I think if mother cricket did exist, that's a massive law that they broke over there when it comes to the spirit of the game, is it not?
Yeah, no, I mean, what they did was, I mean, that was pretty, pretty shameful. And yeah, I mean, it was obviously good that Warner and Smith, and to a lesser extent Bancroft, got their comeuppance. But I definitely, I mean, just from a pure logic standpoint, there's no way Hazelwood. I'm trying to think who played in that test, but Hazelwood, Cummins, Stark. There's no way they weren't aware of this sudden, uh, severely altered condition of the ball. There's no way world class fast bowlers are not aware of what's going on.
It's 100% true. Um, it's one of those things where they're like, I don't know if you saw it recently. They spoke about it and they said, Bancroft actually came out and spoke about it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
We knew the leadership. There was a leadership group. There's no way the fast bowlers couldn't have known. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, especially a guy that is as experienced as Mitchell Stark. There's
Yeah.
no way someone like him doesn't know that the ball has been tampered with, because he would know. I mean, I remember in the first test, I was convinced that it was happening then already, to be honest, because I mean he was swinging that ball in 40 over mark already. I mean that's quite early for the ball to be reverse swinging so quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
it was one of those situations where, and there was also some footage I think released that I saw on Twitter of Bankroyd putting sugar, those brown sugar packets or
Oh,
those
yeah.
sugar sachets, putting
Yeah.
that in his pocket to take onto the field. Now, I don't know if he's going to use that, maybe the granules on that to rough up the ball, or was it just because he has a sweet tooth? I mean, you can do the maths yourself.
No, but if you've got a sweet tooth, like eat sour jelly beans or something, that take sugar sachets onto the field. That's bizarre. That's really, really strange. I hadn't actually heard that, but yeah, it's certainly not out of the realms of possibility at all.
Yeah. So I have to talk to you about something that is currently happening. That happened recently, last
So
night,
it's
in
not
fact.
currently happening. Then it's in the past.
It's Yeah,
We
it's
need to
in the
get
past.
it's
That's what I'm
right.
saying. But yeah, but I'm talking about the effects of it are still currently happening. The
Okay.
aftermath of the Champions League win. I want to
Yeah.
talk to you about what is currently happening with Chelsea, and what is currently happening in the Premier League and in English football because of the Champions League win. Now, there's another curse that people have been talking about. There's another one that you're talking about that's about the Manchester City curse, saying now that Manchester City Pep is also cursed of not getting another. He can't win a Champions League without Messi, because ever since he left Barcelona, he struggled to win a Champions League. And those are the type of things that you'll either see or you either won't see. It's all dependable um, on the day. I think. I mean, winning a final, it's all about how you've set up the team and who's up for it on the day. I mean, well done to Chelsea for winning the UEFA Champions League final.
Yeah. I think I don't know. Sort of. I was, and I'm sure a lot of people were sort of expecting City to win it. But I mean, Chelsea clearly were 100% up for it, and um, City maybe. I mean, that wasn't necessarily their best game of football. So yeah, and it just shows you how fine the margins are in among those English sides, where if a side that has just won the Premier League in the emphatic fashion that City did is slightly off their game, and Chelsea are on it, anything can happen. Yeah, and as you say, well done to them. But I think it's unfair of people to say that the only reason or that Pep is only capable of achieving success in the Champions League with Barcelona. I think he's far too good a manager and a tactician for him not to have success with City in the coming seasons in Europe.
It shows the importance of a good coach and a good manager. It's something that the Proteas can actually learn from, uh, especially the way certain teams and certain managers do in-game preparation and in-game tactical changes. You look at a guy like Pukul, who's a young manager, coming up against someone that was actually his, you could say, someone that he looked up to, a mentor team.
Yeah.
And he outwitted him. But ultimately, these two guys are an indication of sticking to a certain philosophy and sticking to a certain way of playing and making sure that the players buy into it. Now, the way the Proteas will face the World Cup, they're going to have to think about the way of playing. Now, there are certain players, like I think Calvarena for one, is someone that is for the future that I think really needs to be in every single team for South Africa, whether it's Test, T20, ODI, just purely because of his mentality. You need certain players that you use. Now, I can use, for example, I'll use Manchester United as an example because I only know it personally. And I can also compare it to someone like Kante for Chelsea. Kante's importance to Chelsea in that particular final, the way he broke up the momentum and broke up the passing of City. He was all over them. He stopped all the opposition from. It is a certain mentality that he has of winning, something that certain players just have. Certain players just have that naturally. Calvarena is the type of player that has a certain mentality that I think all South African players should be playing with. The no fear attitude, the confidence, the ability to not be able to crack under pressure. That's something that comes naturally to you as a player. It's not something that you necessarily can be taught unless you are motivated by a particular mindset. It's not necessarily always something that you can be taught. So those type of players need to become the spine of the team. If they naturally have that sort of mentality and ability, they should automatically be in the team. Someone like Rassie van der Dussen falls into a similar mold where he just never gives up. He never gave up on his dream to play for the Proteas. He's worked so blooming hard to get where he is. And the consistency that man performs at, the way he wears that badge on his, he wears that badge on his heart on his sleeve when he plays for the Proteas. He wears that badge proudly. The way he speaks to the public, you can hear how much it means to him to be a Protea player. And the fact that they were considering to drop someone like him maybe for someone that is taking us for a fool constantly as fans and as a team as like AB, really worries me. Now, I'm going to let you talk about maybe AB and your thoughts on that, but I just want to talk about some of the players that produce, that should be the core of that team. There's another guy, a guy like KG Rabada, who's just a natural born winner. From the moment he held the cricket board, he was a natural born cricketer, and he was a natural born winner. The guy that wants to achieve excellence consistently, and he produces the numbers no matter who he plays for, whether he's playing in the IPL, whether he's playing in for South Africa, whether he's playing domestic cricket. He gives his best. He'll play. He even said himself, when people were concerned about his injuries and concerned about whether he's going to be injured or not, he just played right through all of that. Another person that I can say that has a similar mentality is a guy like Lazard Williams. Rolando 7 says in the I thought it was Ronaldo 7 at first, and then I double checked and to read it out, and it's Rolando 7. Who the hell he selected Lazard Williams is selected for international. I don't understand what you're meaning, bro. I don't understand what you're saying. I think you're trying to say why the hell is Lazard Williams selected for international cricket? Well, then you need to watch more domestic cricket. I don't know why you have to come so aggressively across. I don't know what your problem is, bro. But Lazard Williams is a guy that has worked damn hard to get where he is, and he's bloody aggressive, and he has an amazing mentality, amazing fighting spirit, which I think can really push the Proteas forward in a whole different way. He performed excellently recently in a team that didn't have their senior players around, and he still performed amazingly. He also bowled very well at the death under a lot of pressure. Someone like Andrich Nokia is another guy that has a great mentality. On the field, he's fierce. Off the field, he's very calm. Great player. Great mentality. Um, what's your thoughts? Who else would you put in that category over there, Craig?
I mean, I think certainly the name that you haven't mentioned that springs to my mind is Ed Markham. I know also I know you are quite a big Markham proponent as well, and I think I mean he's sort of gone through ups and downs throughout his international career, but he absolutely oozes class. He's so good, and um, I think any ICC success we have going forward, he will. I reckon he'll be at the forefront of that and be an integral part of that. So I think, yeah, I mean, he also comes across as someone who's ultra calm and very sort of measured in his approach, and that's what you need because, yeah, I mean, as I said earlier, I mean, the pressure of an ICC event is quite different from the sort of year to year sort of bilateral series that we play. I'm just trying to think who else. Yeah, I mean, I think you've certainly touched on some really interesting players. I think obviously um, Quinton de Kock's also had a bit of a tough time with it late, but I think I mean, you can't do, you can never, people should never really disregard the impact that he can have on a game. And as disappointed as people obviously are to, well, some people are, and others aren't, to not have ABB in the mix for the T20 World Cup, I think de Kock has proven on numerous occasions that he's also very much the type of player that can take a game by the scruff of its neck, by the scruff of the neck, and win it for the Proteas. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think between Ian Markram and the players you've mentioned, I think we've certainly got the firepower to do it.
I think we did an issue of the magazine about Temba talking about with a winning mentality. Um, Temba struggles in his life as well have made him think in a certain way, and he's always speaking about getting the best out of players around him. And it's so important that for him as a captain to have that mentality, that he has his mentality screwed on properly, you know.
Yeah,
And that's so important for him
yeah,
to be able to get that.
I'm absolutely blown away and so stoked with um, the trajectory that his career has taken over the last couple of years, and is especially in the white ball format. I mean, he's shown that he really is going to be integral to the success that we have going forward, and integral to the team that we build going forward. And yeah, I mean, I'm super stoked on him because yeah, I mean, obviously that 100 that he scored against England in when it was in 2016. I mean, that was one of the great moments in uh, sort of Proteas history. So for him to be kicking on now and really establishing himself as a high quality player who can get the job done or across the formats is really really cool.
This is an interesting, very interesting point from Dirshan. We say, sadly, I feel our best bet will be rebuilding after 2023 World Cup. We are currently in our worst period since readmission. And that could be worse. Is that what you said? It is what it is. Okay, so what I wanna say about this is there's a similarity between Manchester United and the Proteas, I feel, when it comes to this, because I feel that when Fergie left Manchester United, the guys like Ferdinand and Vidic and people of that caliber, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, they all left shortly after that as well. Like almost instantly after that, they left as well. Ryan Giggs became assistant manager to David Moyes, I think it was. And they all left. Paul Scholes was gone. The crux of that, Gary Neville was gone. The crux of that team left. Van der Sar left. All of these great players left. And it left a massive hole in the United team. They never replaced those players with youngsters or tried to replace them with anybody. And they never actually got into that rebuilding phase. The Proteas did exactly the same thing. They lost Graham Smith, Jacques Callis, likes of Herschel Gibbs, Mackay Ntini, I'm missing anybody else, Sean Pollock, Mark Boucher, like all over five.
Yeah, so all over like a 5.
Yeah, but all over like a 5-year period, man. I'm saying like a 5-10-year period. Yeah. So we've lost basically all our top players and never replaced any of them. It's one of those situations where even recently, when you're looking at the likes of Dale Steyn leaving, Vernon Philander leaving, Faf du Plessis leaving, Abe de Villiers leaving, there's so many guys that left and they never replaced them young. My point is they should have put in youngsters at that time when Amla was retiring already. When Amla was coming towards the end of his career, Dale Steyn was coming towards the end of his career. AB was coming towards the end of his career. They should have put youngsters in and around them then already, so that they can grow, learn from them at the best in the highest situations possible. You know what I mean? Those are the type of things that I think they should have done early, and that's what they didn't do. So for Dirshan to say this, I'd actually agree with him that it seems like they're only going to be rebuilding after the 2023 World Cup. Like the fact that they think that only experience can win them that World Cup is a bit of a worry to me, because I think that some of the youngsters that we have available to us are actually better than the experienced players that we have. So it's a little bit of a problem at the moment, I think.
So I mean, if you look at like the Springboks' most recent World Cup victories, 2007, they were in absolute shambles in 2006. They really, really weren't. If you had said to them, you're going to win the World Cup next year, they probably themselves would have been like, I don't know, maybe not. And I mean, also, if you look at where they were in 2016-17 during Alistair Coetzee reign, also complete disarray. And yet you got the right people involved, and you got the right players involved to right the ship. And I think that the coaches and the support staff probably just got them thinking in the right way. And who's to say that, you know, there can't be that mindset shift that occurs within the Proteas camp over the next, what will be 2021? So in the next sort of 18 months to 2 years. I don't think all is, I certainly don't think all is lost for 2020.
You see, for me, because the World Cup is around the corner,
Mm.
Both World Cups are around the corner ultimately. We've got two
Yeah.
T20 World Cups and then the 2023 World Cup, ODI World Cup, 50 over World Cup. For me, the transition needs to happen in the test side. Everything starts with test cricket for me. It's the best format. It's the hardest format. It is the most challenging format. It's the format where South Africa don't have a lot of pressure on them, I feel. Because with the test championship, you've got a 2-year period between each test championship. Now, I think they made a mistake by not building for the test championship 2 years ago already. I was saying then that we need to build a young nucleus in that side, build the team around a spine. It's very important that you do so in sports teams. I think in every single sport, having a spine in team sports, having a good young spine that can take you forward. We were lucky that we had youngsters in the team that were outperforming our senior players, a lot of the senior players. Quentin de Kock, Kagiso Rabada, and Aiden Markram currently is currently this in a way, and Andrich Nokia I would throw into that bracket as well. Are currently the spine, even Lungi maybe you can throw in there in Test cricket as your spine in the team. Build your team around them because they are the guys that are going to take you forward. Now, unfortunately, I haven't done that. So I believe that in the Test arena, they should be building a team around a young side. Let them grow into the Test championship. Then by the next Test championship, they'll be so experienced. They would have played all the best players in the world. Those teams will be in transition and South Africa become a force again in world cricket. I
Yeah.
mean, that's how they should plan their test arena. And those players, majority of them will probably also be playing T20 cricket and ODI cricket because the modern day cricketer, the modern day youngster these days, they are becoming all-round cricketers with regards to formats. They're not just test players or ODI players or T20 players. A lot of them play all formats. We can see that with a guy like Zubair Hamza in a way, because he was in that bracket where people thought, oh no, he's from the little older generation. He won't be able to play T20 cricket or ODI or 50 over cricket. Yet in the 50 over competition and the T20 competition, he was one of the top run scorers. Last season, in the 50 over competition, he was one of the top run scorers in the 50 over competition. This season, he was one of the top run scorers in the T20 competition, and not in the 4-day competition. Yet he made his mark in the 4-day arena. So he is actually a very all-rounded cricketer. And he used to tell me a lot that he wants to be seen as a multi-format cricketer. So I think that youngsters in the team will automatically be growing themselves into those type of facets. I see, awesome. I see Joel Harrison comment over here. Khalid, I love Rassi, but don't you think we should think of replacing him in the test side? And I suggested this a couple of shows ago, I think. I suggested that maybe replacing Rassi in the test arena is maybe a good opportunity to give Kyle Verreynne an opportunity to bat at number 4. I think that's where he can really prosper. Even at 5 is possibility, and maybe moving someone like Tatemba Vavuma. I think if he's going to be a vice captain to the team and he's going to be one of the more senior guys, he needs to take more responsibility and bat high up the order. But Kyle Verreynne can bat at 4. I think he's very capable of doing so. I think he's an excellent batsman, and he doesn't need to keep. He's a good batsman without the gloves. He doesn't need to keep the gloves. Yes, he's one of the best wicketkeepers, in my opinion, the best wicketkeeper in the country, but he can get into that team on his batting alone. It's not keeping, it doesn't get him into that team. It's his batting that gets him into that team. So that is maybe an excellent opportunity to give a young guy an opportunity to be able to play. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Do you think that maybe in the test arena they should be, because in test cricket for a while now, we haven't really been at the level that we were at.
Yeah, so I mean, sort of when you started
After the
talking
ball
about,
tampering, actually, after that ball tampering series, our test cricket actually declined.
I'm just trying to think about our
India away, because obviously Enoch Nkwe, Otis Gibson obviously left after the World Cup. So it's after the World Cup really that you could really say that our our Test cricket properly declined. I mean, England got slaughtered by England, got slaughtered by India, got slaughtered by Sri Lanka. You know, like who have we beaten in the last year, in the last 2 years?
No one of any real sort of substance.
I don't think we won a test. I don't think we've won a test series in the last 2 years.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think
I don't know. You
right.
just think about it. Besides, okay, maybe Bangladesh in 2017 or 18, but
I might take a leaf out of your book and quickly Google it, and I'm sure you will.
Google is the cure for everybody. I'll read some of the comments while you're Googling over there. Aiden is a real leader. Khalid, remember 24 years? 100%. I think Aiden is a leader. He's a natural born leader. The fact that the senior players like to listen to him proves that. Joel Harrison, what about Temba Bavuma spot in Test cricket? We battled against Pakistan. I said that in my very first comment of the stream. Scroll up and check. I didn't look at that. Don't give up hope, guys. A young SA team beat Australia 3-0. Yeah, they did. That just shows to me that we must trust our youngsters, man. We've got so many talented. Renat van Tonder is another guy. I mean, that boy is so talented. Maybe giving him another season. Maybe giving him another season might get him ready, but he's so talented. What did you see there in your Google?
I'm still looking, but what I did want to say is it's such a. I mean, obviously we've had loads of success in the Test arena over the last whatever it is, 15, 16 years. Winning series in Australia on 3 occasions, in England, etc., and it's like I don't know if we were to reach those heights again, I don't know if the sort of Proteas fans, if that would be enough of them, because at the end of the day, that I think it's kind of like with this with Brentford getting promoted yesterday to the Premier League. I think 99.9% of their fan base have never seen them in the Premier League. The same way, most of us have never ever seen the Proteas win a major trophy. I mean, when was it? The '98 Champions Trophy was the last one.
It's crazy, eh? It's crazy that it's that long ago.
I mean, what were you then? You must have been like 12 then, bro.
I was younger than that. I was in Holland at the time. My sister was born in '98, actually.
Okay. But no. So I mean, I think you're definitely right in your thinking that success in the red ball format could then translate into white ball success as well. But it's sort of like I don't know if the fans will necessarily be stoked with anything short of a major trophy, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm looking at this comment of Andile was bashed by Nati. Yes, Andile is not looking in the greatest of form, I have to say. Over the last couple of seasons, he's been very inconsistent. Even for the Dolphins, he was inconsistent. I mean, like some games he bats really well, some games he bowls really well, some days he has a complete stinker and doesn't do either. At the moment, he's not bowling really well. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know how much COVID and bubbles and all of those type of things are in affecting someone like Andile. I would really like to have a chat with him to find out what he's going through. I'm so happy that it's not me saying it. But excellent comment from Afzal here. Andile is having a tough time with form as fans. We need to support him to try and get him back to his best. I don't like it when we bash players
Yeah.
I want,
No, agreed.
yeah, like I don't like it when we bash players and label them and do those type of things. Even when I was criticizing David Miller in a previous stream, um, my intention was not to criticize him. It was to for us as a fan base to stand up and say, guys, you know what? We need him to be the best that he can be. And I think that the Proteas have done. I think what David Miller has done to get himself to a level where he's playing with total freedom, he needs to get all the praise in the world for that. And I think he's doing an excellent job at finding that form again. And I hope that he can keep it until the World Cup. But I want us to support because, guys, mental wellness and mental well being and mental health in general is a very important topic that you need to discuss. The next issue of the magazine is going to be all about mental health, so that you guys can get some education on it and how important it actually is. Um, Even the best of best players go through that and go through those struggles, especially in this modern era with social media. I mean, so many horrible things get said online that really affect people's mental health and their confidence. Just because you're sitting behind the screen and you have freedom of speech doesn't mean that that's not going to hurt someone. There have been major suicides. There've been major depression. There's been major scarring on people's lives just from social media bullying. And I want you guys to this, please take note of that, because some players, they actually watch our streams and they actually watch our stuff and they see the comments in the comment section. We don't want to create a platform of negativity. I've always wanted to create a platform of positivity where a player feels that they are motivated after they leave the stream. When they watch this, they feel like they want to fight for us on that field. We have a role as fans. We have a role as a platform to try and motivate all the players that play for the Proteas. It's not their fault that they've been selected for the Proteas. If you want to have a go at anybody, you should have a go at the selectors if you have a problem with the selection of teams. Do not go after the player because it's not their fault that they've been selected. It's not their fault that they are maybe selected at an early age and too soon. That is not their fault. So support them as much as you can, please, because they all need our support. As fanatics, if you want to call yourself a cricket fanatic and you want to say that you love the Proteas, you need to support every single person that is given that Proteas cap. I just wanted to say that before we go on.
And I think,
They
I mean,
asked
it's
this.
go for it, Bruce. Sorry.
Do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, like, it's it's all well and good to have views on a player, and it's you can verbalize them to your mates if you so wish, but as soon as you sort of take it into that social media domain, like it can be quite damaging to them, as you said. I mean, so like I've got to know a few young professional golfers over the last sort of year and a bit, and like that, as much as cricket can be a lonely game when you're out of form or whatever, golf, if you're not making cuts, for example, people are like, which means that after the first two rounds of an event, you're not in the top half of the competitors playing. People don't really want to know, like, from you, or like know what you're up to or whatever. And I think it's very easy for people to just feel discarded, which like, I mean, the mere fact that they sort of, whether they're professional cricketers or golfers or sportsmen in general, the mere fact that they're putting their abilities on the line and ultimately chasing their dreams is, I mean, that's commendable in itself. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I think people need to. I think the South African fans in general are far too fickle. Um, and yeah, I think that's definitely something um, we need to change. And I think, yeah, I think you're doing a great job through Cricket Fanatics to bring about that change.
I just want to talk about who my like. all rounders have been an issue in South African cricket for quite some time. I think there's a curse over there as well because we haven't produced great all rounders since some people would say since Lance Klusener, we haven't produced all rounders of that caliber. You had the likes of Sean Pollock that counted himself as an all rounder. You had the likes of Fernie Philander who counted himself as an all rounder at 7. But since Lance Klusener, really, we haven't really produced someone that can bat as well as bowl. You know what I mean?
Before you get vilified, you mean besides Cullis, obviously.
No. Carlos is an exception to every rule. Carlos is ridiculous. Carlos batted 3 though. Like, I mean, I'm talking about a number 7. So, like, I'm talking about someone that's in the number 7 position. I mean, Carlos is out of this world.
Yeah.
He was a very much an exception to the rule. Because I don't think we'll produce another Carlos. That's very, very highly unlikely that we're going to get an all-rounder that bats 3 and bowls as well. And bowls 140. So like it's crazy to see that. But currently in the current setup, I think the best batting all-rounder in our country currently is Dwayne Pretorius in my eyes, based on the way he's performed consistently for domestically, for T20 into T20 competitions domestically, as well as for the Proteas. I think he's been excellent. And the best bowling all-rounder for us currently, and I'm not putting Morris into this because Morris hasn't been selected, but the best bowling all-rounder we need to talk about as well. Now, when you're talking about uncapped players, Michal Pretorius comes into the fold as someone as an excellent all-rounder. I love him as a player. I would like to see him get opportunities maybe for South Africa. And a guy maybe like... you see, before, a couple of years ago, when I was speaking to Lance Klusener and around that era, I mean, even in that pink ODI at the Wanderers against India, I would have said that Andile Pechlekwayo was our best bowling all-rounder in the country. Because, I mean, he batted excellently in that match. He batted with no fear. And he bowled excellently as well. Even after the World Cup, in that ODI format, he bowled excellently. And currently in ODIs, he's doing pretty well. I mean, he's hit a 60 now against Pakistan as well. And he's bowling well. In the T20 format, we've hardly seen him play. And they are sticking with him. The selectors are sticking with Andile as a bowling all-rounder. And I don't know what he's capable. I don't actually know fully what he's capable of when it comes to the T20 game. I haven't seen enough of him to be able to say whether he is an excellent T20 player or whether, because theoretically, because of his slower deliveries, because of the way we see him bowl in ODI cricket, it should be an automatic transition into T20 cricket, because he should be able to get that consistency that he shows in ODIs in T20 cricket. It should be easier for him, actually. But because he bats 7 or 8 and he bowls maybe 3rd change or 4th change, you barely see him play because he's not the best bowler in that team. So you got KG Rabada, you got Andrich Nokia, then you've got your spinners. So either Imran Tahir or Tabray Shamsi or Keshav Maharaj, I think, should be in that T20 setup. So currently you're sitting with a situation where Andile is not one of your main batsmen and he's not one of your main bowlers. So when he doesn't get the opportunity to bowl or bat, sometimes in majority of the T20 games, whereas in ODIs you'll get to see him a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think also the issue he's having in T20s, as you pointed out, he is one of our change bowlers, and the issue that presents is that often when he's coming on to begin his spell, like, the batsmen have their eyes in, and his variation is quite good, but with his with the pace that he bowls, a batsman with their iron could take quite a liking to him and not really allow him to settle. And if you look at his batting, for example, I mean, as you say,
it's bad in T20 cricket. It's very bad in T20 cricket. I have to say that. I know I'm being harsh over here, but he really needs to improve his batting in T20 cricket if he really wants to become the player that we all thought that he would be before. I mean, it's unfortunate that he's in the form at the moment. We can only, I mean, the stats don't necessarily lie when you talk about, when you look at ESPN Cricket Info, etc., and check his stats out. It's not that great when you're looking at T20 cricket. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I think we're gonna have to talk about the squad when the squad is selected, and I'm I'm gonna signal you out over here because you are constantly spamming me with quota policy in the live chat. You can shout, you can scream, you can write it in capital letters all the time. You can't fight with me. I'm not the one selecting the teams and putting the policies in. If you have an issue with this, take it up with Cricket South Africa. Don't take it up with me. I can only talk about what Cricket South Africa does and what selections they talk about. Nothing that you are going to say, nothing that I'm going to say is going to change their mind on using the quota policy and transformation in South African cricket. So I think you should stop spamming the comments, and I think you should stop spamming the live chat because you're making it very... you're not making it very pleasant for people to have conversations in the live chat by doing this constantly. And I'm calling you out because you do it on every single stream, every daily show, every podcast. You are doing this. So I'm just asking you now, please, to stop, because if you're going to continue doing it, I'm going to have to ban you from the live chat. So yeah, Craig. So let's just talk about it a little bit. We can just wrap it up now. Just your last final thoughts that you want to make before we leave.
Yeah, I mean, so to go back to obviously the theme of the podcast, I really don't think curses are a thing. I just think things always happen as they're meant to and when they're meant to, and yeah, it just hasn't been the Proteas time just yet, but it's imminent, and we've just got to, as fans, like, you know, there can be no room for, it's easy, but there can be no room for negativity. You can't have people passing comments about like the quota system and stuff, especially online, because that's going to have, how can you expect a dude to perform if he's seeing X, Y, and Z written about him?
Yeah.
And
I don't think they understand the repercussions of them saying that, though. I know they...
not like it's infuriating, you know. It's infuriating because, yeah, I mean, we really are blessed with some talented cricketers, and we've just got to back them to do it, and, you know, pick them up when they are struggling, and help them move forward and grow as players, because ultimately, you know, it's that thing. If you're not gonna support me through my failures, don't expect to be there when I succeed. You know, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah. So we've got a comment over here to Cock at number 4 and Kyle with the gloves. What do you think? It was something that I brought up in a previous stream before. I think we did a whole podcast show. Go check it out on our channel, where I gave our insight, and we gave our insight on that as well. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Harshit, I'm gonna explain to you right now, so that you know. You keep on saying bring on the full panel like before. The podcast show is separate from the rest of the shows on a Sunday evening. It's a laid-back show for me to get to know, or for me to chat and catch up with friends. I want to also enjoy the Sunday evenings as well. I want it to be a little bit more tame and laid back, and not be infuriating for a person on a Monday morning waking up that we had a whole debate about quotas for the entire bloody night, and then the next morning they need to go to work angry. So I don't really want those situations, because the quota system and racism in South Africa is a very sensitive topic, and you guys can easily, I know from India you can say whatever you want, and it doesn't affect anybody, but it does affect South Africans deeply. It's a topic that really affects us and pulls, and obviously yeah. I don't want to get into it, but ultimately we will be doing review shows and preview shows for every single match that we play against the West Indies. If you follow this channel from the beginning, you will know that we dedicated to doing that. We do it every single time before. So what we did before is that we have podcast shows in the week, which is our daily shows at 6 o'clock. We will be doing previews and reviews for every single match in the games. So 2 days or a day before the time, you'll see the notification, and we will bring a full panel on the show to talk about the games, to talk about each particular match, and those are the type of things that we will be doing going forward, so that it's nice and structured for you guys, so you know when you're getting what. So that's how it is currently. And Arshid, I understand that you're saying that you didn't want us to change our podcast shows. And we only changed the Sunday evening podcast show. The reason for that is because we need a show that is relatable to all fans, not just cricket crazy fans, guys that are actually interested in other sports, particularly in South Africa. We've got people that like various topics, not just cricket. So we're going to talk to, we want to talk about various topics to get people into and excited about different things and relate to us as people as well, because we don't only watch cricket. I mean, South Africans, generally speaking, don't only watch cricket. We support other sports as well. We watch other things as well. We have other cultural traits that we want to talk about. So it's a very, very South African focused show. And if you don't like it, move on. It's simple as that. I don't mind if you want to move on to something else. I understand that you decide to do that. You can do so if you want to. I'm just telling you what we are doing with regards to that. We have a channel. We have so much content. We have content every single day about South African cricket. So you guys are getting completely. You should be drowning in South African cricket content, because from Monday to Thursday at 6 p.m. South African Standard Time, we have our daily shows where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. On a Friday evening, we have our Offside Maiden show. And on a Sunday evening, we have our laid back podcast show. If you read the descriptions on the videos, you will see what the podcast shows are about. So thank you, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for all the support. Please smash that like button. Please smash subscribe. Craig, thanks a lot for coming on the show. Really looking forward to having you back on the show again. And yeah, it was an excellent show. We got to talk about a lot of things. Oh, I see Bashir Walters asked a question. Do you think that we select teams based on what they could do instead of players that are currently in form? And I think that is the problem. Yes. And I think they need to start picking on form. And you're 100% correct in that, I think, Bashir. It's something that we need to get right. We need to pick on form. And I said, for the World Cup, for example, in a tournament as big as the World Cup, a tournament as big as the World Cup, you need to pick your best players for that day. I don't think that the quota policy works in a World Cup, because you need to pick your best players that you have available to you, I feel. And we are producing enough players of color currently in our system to be able to pick a best team that is representative of the country. That's what I honestly believe. When you're talking about that, do you agree with that point, Craig?
100%. I think in the 2019 World Cup, I think we were probably guilty of picking a couple of players on reputation rather than form, and I think we came unstuck. So I think picking on form going forward is definitely the way to go.
I just want to say thank you to everybody on the stream. Harshit, thank you for every single day. I know I was quite harsh on you right now, speaking about it, to try to explain to you. I get like that sometimes. I'm sorry about it. I have to apologize to you. But thank you for all the support that you, on every single stream, you support us. Thank you a lot, Ashwani. Thank you a lot to everybody that supports us. Text on a regular basis, you support us. PM, I want to know which question you're talking about, because I've answered the last one that you posted, which is about the cock at number 4 and Kyle with the gloves. Are you talking about this particular one? I did answer it. I said, I did say that I believe that. Are you saying Temba at 4? Yo, I mean, if Temba needs to take more responsibility, I would moving up the order. But based on the
I
press
would actually
conference with
really
Dean
like to see
Alco,
that.
yeah, I would also like to see him move up the order. Actually, he bats high up the order for his domestic side, But in the press conference of Dean Alco,
yeah.
No,
I was
what
going
did
to
you want
say,
to
just
say?
to see him, I really, really would like to see him given a sustained run where he bats most of his innings with recognised batsmen. So I think that's also the issue that he's had, where he's come in quite low down and then he's batting with the tape. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I also feel that. I mean, I think if they want to give him responsibility, I mean, he spoke to us in an exclusive interview with us. In one of our interviews with Ongama, actually, he wrote one of the cover stories. He spoke about wanting to take more responsibility. So if he wants to take more responsibility, he needs to bet higher up. Simple as that.
100%.
It's as simple as that.
100%.
And now with the captaincy as well, you need to be the best. Majority of the time, the captain is one of the best players in the team. Majority of the time, I think in most cases, that is the case. So I think that's what they need to do. When it comes to, I think he needs to take more responsibility. From the press conferences that I heard, they were talking about Dean Algo speaking about Quinton batting 5 and 6. So him going up the order, I don't think they like that idea. As the Proteas, I like the idea because I think he's our best batsman. And I think because he's the best batsman, I think he should bat in high up the order. Personally, I think he'll score a lot more centuries. But maybe they don't think the same thing. It's very different to bat at 4 and to bat at 7. But at least they've now moved him to 6, 5 or 6. They said in the press conference. Last question I'm taking, guys, is how do you rate Shukri Conrad's role in junior cricket? I think it's excellent. From the interviews that I've had with him, please go check them out in the exclusive interview section on this channel. We spoke about it, and his insights into how he wants to train the youngsters. He specifically said he's going to teach them how to read conditions. That was so important to me from that perspective, that he said that he's going to teach players how to read conditions and not necessarily teach them how to play the game, because they naturally know how to play the game. Yes, he'll tweak a little bit things in there, but he's not there to coach them and teach them how to play cricket, because they already know they got to this level because they were good enough to be at that level. So he's going to teach them the aspects, the mental aspects and the mental strengthening to be able to read conditions really, really well, so that when they go out to the middle, they can adapt their game according to the conditions in the middle. So that's something that I think is excellent. I think that he will give those players a fighting mentality. And if you listen to the youngsters and what they say about him, they all say that he's made their cricket better by helping them build their mental strength, which is so important in cricket. Anything you want to add to that?
All good, dude. Yeah, I think you covered that very, very well. That's
yeah, and I can see your eyes starting to close. Sorry, I've kept you for 1 hour 18 minutes. That's the longest podcast show we've had. So
it's all good, man. All good. Really,
sorry,
really
man. So thanks.
No
so thanks a lot for coming on the show, Craig. Thanks a lot to everybody out there for watching this show. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Click the notification bell for all future videos. Do that, please, for me. We're getting closer and closer to that 2,000 mark. Don't forget to smash the like button and share this on all your social media platforms, because that's the way we get recommended in other people's feeds. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. So remember, 6 p.m. Sorry, not 6 a.m. 6 p.m. SA time. You're watching this South African Standard Time, 6 p.m. every single day from Monday to Thursday, our daily show. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys soon.